We have a couple things to talk about on this episode.
Just a couple two
A
tree.
couple two tree things. First of all, obviously, we're gonna talk about the fight night with Lewis and Aleksei Oleinik yesterday. That was a fun one. A lot of talking points on that one. I would say a lot more than I
Would you?
expected. Well, mostly around the Weidman, but
Oh, you mean the
and
card
I
as a
mean,
whole?
yeah, the card as a whole, not exactly the main event. I think it was a very solid card all around,
It
though.
was.
Yeah.
It was good.
We got to talk about that, and then a few things in the Bellator 243 card worth mentioning. I think Bellator has given us prime entertainment in the last few weeks here. Some real good stuff. A lot of good memes have come out of this.
Good main event though.
Yeah, good main
Solid
event. Oh, the co-main. Oh, beautiful. That's what we want to see. Matt Mitrione just demolishing people. You know how it goes. And
Tim
then
Johnson won.
I think after that we'll take a little dive into the UAE Warrior process.
You just ignored me, bro.
What did you say?
You just ignored me. You
What
said
did you
Matt
say?
Mitrione demolished people, but he didn't win the fight.
That's the fucking joke, man. And yeah, he got fucking murdered in that fight. Matt Mitrione got absolutely blasted in like 4 seconds.
I quit. I'm done. Canceled.
Cancel
I'm
the
canceling.
episode.
I'm canceling it.
No,
No, the
man.
whole channel. Just shut it down. Shut it all down.
It's after that one we just gotta cut our losses.
Mm-hmm.
But the UAE Warriors, we gotta take a dive into their sign-up process. See
Yeah,
if
I'm
we can
about
get
to
our
become
boy Kyle
UAE
in there.
Warrior champion.
Yeah, we got a little video of him and his training methods and some action shots. So I think we're gonna be pretty persuasive to the UAE Warrior
You
organization.
get to see me be real cool. That's how cool guys act.
It's
Wait until you
something you
see
don't
it.
see very often. I think you're all gonna like it a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
before we do that,
You gotta stick around to the end.
you gotta stick around to the end. No skipping
Enticing.
allowed. This is like a
Yeah.
no fast travel run in Skyrim. All right, you can't fast travel.
That's exactly what
So-
it is.
The UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Oleinik. I think this was the Vegas 6 card.
Who cares?
That doesn't matter. Irrelevant information.
I'll say it again. I say it every goddamn week. It's the Vegas cajillionth card. They have a card on Vegas every day. Like calling it Vegas 6 is so stupid, man. It's just not what it is.
It's a
Anyway,
mirage.
continue.
It's a mirage, Kyle. It's like a yeah, okay. Anyway, Derrick Lewis fought Aleksei Oleinik. And I thought this was a really good matchup from the start. I know you said a little bit about it too. This was a very fun stylistic matchup. Obviously because they complement each other very well with their styles. Derrick Lewis being one of the hardest hitters in the entire division, fighting a guy who chokes people where people thought they could never be choked from. So you got this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wrestling versus a striker. So I was very excited to see what happened here, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that Derrick Lewis has much improved his ground game. He held his own against Aleksei Oleinik in places I never thought he would. I was so impressed with him, and he looks physically great. I think he lost a few pounds of blubber, and he definitely gained a little bit of muscle in the replacement of it, and I think he looks fantastic. And not only does he look fantastic, though, but that performance, that was good. The first round was a little dicey. I'll give you that. But that second round, did you expect Derrick Lewis to throw a combination of a flying knee to a right hook and land it?
Well,
What?
Aleksei sure didn't.
Aleksei and the ground and pound after that? That took years off of this man's life. Oh my god.
Yeah, that ground
Derrick
pound
was
rough.
he was putting heat into it. Even in the first round when we had him on the ground for a bit, I was like, "Oh man, Derrick, he hits hard, man. He just holds you there. He's gotten so much better over the years." And it's so nice to see this evolution of the Black Beast. And obviously his post-fight interviews don't disappoint. They've only
He gotta
gotten
take
better.
a shit, man.
Yeah.
Let the man take a shit.
I can't even tell if he's doing this as a gag. I think he's serious. I really do. I didn't even think he thought the mic was on. He acted surprised when Felder heard him say that. That was funny. But overall, what were your thoughts on this main event?
I agree. I thought Derrick looked good. I mean, I still don't know how well he could stack up against these really elite heavyweight. Obviously, he's always got that power, and that is a game changer no matter what. It's always a a factor. I still don't know how he stacks up against the really elite heavyweights like Curtis Blades or Francis. I think if they had a rematch, it would go quite differently. And then Stipe and DC. I mean, both of those are terrible fights for him. But you're right. He has looked improved, and he's saying he wants to lose even more weight and get in even better shape. Um, so yeah, I mean, the future is looking bright for Derrick Lewis. I mean, he survived a nasty choke in the first round. I mean, Aleksei was shocked that the dude was not tapping. You could see him at one point where he's on the ground with him. He's like, "What's it gonna take?" He's looks really surprised. And then, of course, one of the hardest hitters in the sport. Um, I saw Curtis Blades after the fight was saying I called dibs on fighting Derrick next. Um, I know the fans were not too keen on that one. I don't know if that fight will happen. I don't know. It's rough. It's weird because Curtis a few weeks ago after he beat Volkov was saying he doesn't want anything except a title shot. And you have Stipe and DC happening in 6 days, and then you have to put Francis in there next. Maybe Derrick and Curtis is the way to go, just because I don't really know what you do with those two guys right now. There's going to be a lot of waiting, I feel, because um, you have to see how Stipe and DC shakes out. That can go a million different ways. What if it's like a controversial, finish or a controversial decision or something along those lines? And then you have to give Francis that title shot. So maybe Curtis and Derrick is the way to go. I don't really know how that one shakes out. Curtis is a crazy good wrestler, much different than Aleksei in terms of he uh, how he performs once they're on the ground. Aleksei is one of those guys that's constantly searching for a finish, constantly searching for some. I mean, they call him the boa constrictor for a reason. Constantly searching for some kind of submission, choke, whatever. And then Curtis is a much more almost like the Kamaru Usman style, where he's perfectly comfortable with just grinding on you for 15 to 25 minutes and wearing you out, landing shots here and there, maybe going for a submission here or there, but he's not actively searching for the finish. He's much more liable to outpoint you for the duration of the fight. Excuse me. So I mean, it'll be interesting either way. I do think Derrick has improved significantly, and I think he's going to continue to improve. I feel like the DC fight kind of woke him up, and what was the fight before he got the title shot, where he said he didn't want the title shot, and then they gave him the title shot. What was that? Who did he fight? He won, obviously.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
do you remember?
I thought it was a striker like JDS or someone like that.
I'm gonna
I don't
look
think it
real
was him
quick.
though. I can't remember. But yeah, this was a guy that was going from openly admitting that he wasn't training very seriously at all, like the way he should be training, and now he's just going down this really nice road where he's taking it really seriously now. And I think you're right. I think he woke up a bit after the DC fight, and it's nice to see this new Derrick Lewis, this new black beast coming out of the water. You know what I mean? It's like the
It was
Loch Ness
Volkov.
monster. Oh, it
It
was
was
Volkov.
Volkov.
Okay, I was
He it
thinking.
was it was the Conor Khabib card when he
Yeah,
he was getting pummeled the entire fight and
my
then
balls
knocked
was
out
hot.
Volkov right at the end and then was like, "Man, I need to work on my cardio, my
Yeah,
wrestling, my everything. I don't want a title shot right now." Then they gave him a title shot and I mean, I mean, why would you not take it if you're him? He probably got a nice paycheck out of it. And this guy has openly said that he does this for like it's all about the money for him. He's not this kind of guy that's like, I want to be a legend in the sport. I want to be, greatest heavyweight of all time. He's like, no, I'm going in there to knock people out and get a paycheck. Fair enough. And yeah, so they gave him that DC fight. DC submitted him in the second round. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely improved since then. He went on in the following year, 2019, to grind out a decision against Blagoy-Ivanov. Then he knocked out Junior Dos Santos in the second round, and now this year, Ilir Latifi, and he beat Ilir Latifi via decision, and now Aleksei Oleinik. So, sorry, JDS was the one that knocked him out, not the other. I was
Oh,
wrong
that's
about that.
oh
Yeah,
man.
JDS
Yeah.
beat him in 2019. He beat Blagoy Ivanov, and then he's on a 3-fight win streak right now.
I want to see the Curtis Blades fight as much as the next guy, but I don't know, man. That's a tough matchup. Curtis Blades is not the most interesting fighter. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I
He
mean, I think that's why the fans were so
yeah,
opposed.
and it's not just his fighting style. You look at a guy like Derrick Lewis and you say, I want to hear this guy talk. I want to know what he has to
Yeah,
say. He's got a personality like
people
no
love
one
him.
else. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's a lovable guy. He's a goofball. He reminds me of Rampage Jackson back in the day, like the
A
Ultimate
little bit,
Fighter and
yeah.
stuff. But
Minus all the
like,
sexual harassment, yeah.
well, who knows how much of that goes on behind the scenes?
That's
Ronda
true.
Rousey with a fine ass. Okay, anyway,
Okay,
so
yeah, that's true.
but
Fair point.
then you look at someone like Curtis Blades, and you're like, he's a nice guy, but he's kind of a potato personality-wise. He doesn't really do much. He's like a guy that in the office that comes in, keeps his head down, he does good work, and then he leaves. That's fine, but that's not going to be the best kind of style for having fans. You know what I mean? Someone like Khabib or Usman with the same kind of style he has, just the grind. I mean, they're likable as hell because of their personalities. Maybe not
What?
so much Usman,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say people
he's
hate
still kind
Usman.
of funny though. He still tries, and I like the more I listen to Usman talk, the more I think people kind of give him a bad rap, but at the
Do
same
something.
time, he's nowhere near someone like Derrick Lewis.
Do
Curtis Blades
something.
nowhere near, yeah, nowhere near Derrick Lewis. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's a bad matchup for him. So I don't want to see this potato beat this butterfly of a personality that's Derrick Lewis. I almost want to just save him for someone else because I know Curtis is a really good fighter and I'm kind of worried about him. But that's the fight to make if you look at the rankings and everyone else is held up. You got to give Ngannou the title shot, like you said, and DC and obviously Stipe, or who knows what's going to happen there. I'm scared. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think the future is bright for my man Derrick Lewis. I think Aleksei Oleinik still looked fine. I think he should keep going, I don't
Yeah, I
I
mean,
he
he for a 43-year-old, he does not look 43 when he competes. Oh my God.
I think most people
These
in
motorcycles.
Derek's position would have tapped in that last choke. That
Oh
was
yeah.
bad for so long too. Oh man, I don't that must take some constant willpower to just keep going with someone like
Yeah.
Aleksei just squeezing you like that.
You
That's
have to
just
be
crazy.
relaxed. You
Yeah.
can't panic in that
Yeah.
situation. Derek does seem like a very relaxed individual
He
overall,
does.
so that probably helps when you're in those really rough spots to just be like to just kind of breathe and chill and
Yeah.
wait it out.
He's still the
But
last person I thought that would have survived that. You know what I mean? I never expected him to survive the ground with Aleksei,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, I definitely thought Alexei was going to submit him.
So I don't know where to put Aleksei. But
Volkov,
yeah, that's not bad. I like
two
that. That two
Russians,
Russians, yeah, that'll
both
actually
coming off losses.
that's real marketable too, because they're complete opposites if you think about it. Tall striker, shorter wrestler. That's
Hmm.
that's a classic matchup right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the roads are looking bright. About the co-main event though, where things turn a little dark. Before we talk about that, is there anything else you wanted to talk about with Aleksei and Derrick?
Um, no, dude. I mean, it was a pretty straightforward main event. I mean, Alexei went in there, did what he does. Derek survived. Derek came out in the second round, did what he does. Alexei didn't. Um, about as straightforward as it gets. We just have to see where things play out with both of these guys. Like you said, I don't think Alexei necessarily looked bad. Um, I mean, if anything, like I was impressed that he
Yeah.
was able to survive as long as he did after that initial shot in the beginning of the second round. His ground game, as always, looked good. Um, yeah, I mean, I like the guy. I think he does. I think he does great work. He's really fun to watch. I'd like I'm still happy to see him compete. I mean, it does get to the point at 43 years old where you have to start thinking about, maybe call it quits, but he's not. Uh, I mean, Derrick did brutally knock him out, but like he's not going out there and looking like awful, you know. Like he doesn't like yeah, he got knocked out, but he got knocked out by Derrick Lewis. Like there's not many human beings who aren't going to get knocked out by Derrick Lewis if he lands cleanly, right? Um he's not like BJ Penn or Chris Weidman level
Oh,
where I'm like, dude, you need to stop. Like this is bad. It's not like that with Aleksei Oleinik. I mean, he still looks solid. I think he's still very competitive. And then Derrick, yeah, I mean, he's he looks better every time we see him. So I'll be happy to see where he goes from here. Great dude, great personality in the heavyweight division. I mean, we need them in that division, right? We need life in it, and he is certainly contributing to that in leaps and bounds. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about the main event. Co-main event, like you said, a little darker.
this was a rough path for Chris Weidman. Look,
Not as rough as it
I
could have been.
yeah, it didn't go as I expected it to. I looked at Chris Weidman fighting a number 11 ranked middleweight, I believe, and I think to myself, this is a guy who gets knocked out literally on the walkout to his fights. Like someone will high five him and he'll be flatlined to the ground. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the
Yeah.
chin after his many knockouts to really let him survive. I don't think so. I totally expected him to die. I'm just gonna be honest with you. What is that? Do you hear that feedback, Kyle?
No. There was a
Okay.
car driving by.
Okay, maybe
Is
that was
that what you...
something on my end. No, never mind. But I totally expected Chris to die. And he comes out and he didn't look bad. He just looked like he was fighting in slow motion. It looked like he gassed after the first round. And this was a guy who was going 25 rounds with people, and I was thinking like, what happened to you? Maybe
25 rounds?
or no, 25 minutes. I'm sorry. Maybe he could have gone 25 rounds. He used to look really good cardio wise, you
World
know.
champion, man.
Yeah, world champ. Murdered Anderson Silva twice. And he actually did really well before the that people call it a fluke knockout in the first fight. He was pretty much outpointing him the entire time. Like this is a guy that was on the top, in my opinion. You know,
Hmm.
um, and I don't know what happened to him, man. He just looks like a totally different person, doesn't he? Am I
Yeah.
missing something here? I think he's just getting old, you know, and that's fine. But I worry for my man Chris because I do like the guy. I just feel like he's a little I feel like he's a little underwater at this point. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
literally the way he fights underwater, but figuratively as well. I'm kind of worried about him.
I think the only reason we're not sitting here and being like, "Oh my God, Chris Weidman, please," well, you could say that, please retire. The only reason we're not like pleading with him right now is because the guy he fought also looked awful. They both looked real bad. Uh, I mean, no cardio. The ground game was decent from both guys. The striking, like you said, was in slow motion. Um, it, he's
It looked like
just
a heavyweight fight, didn't it?
yeah. It was bad. I mean, you're asking what happened with him. He's just past his prime. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. Is everyone has their time when they peak, and then the decline from that. And he's been on the decline for some time now. Uh, he reached his peak, and there's no shame here. Like there's nothing wrong with. I mean, the dude was one of the top middleweights in the world, but you can't be that forever. And he's at the point where he's just not anymore. And I think the reason it's hard for some of us to believe and maybe hard for him to accept is because it happened fairly quickly.
Hmm.
Um, we hang on.
Suspiciously quickly.
The 30th motorcycle has to drive by. I swear I live in like the fucking Sons of Anarchy clubhouse. Like, I don't know what this is, but
I love
yeah, it happened real quickly. I think you could attribute that to the guy's been in some wars. He's been knocked out a bunch of times. He's been overmatched a bunch of. I mean, the dude fought Dominic Reyes for his light heavyweight debut. This is the guy that arguably beat John Jones. I mean, that is as elite gets. And you threw him in there his first time at light heavyweight. Uh, I mean,
Yeah, what were they thinking?
that's rough. Well,
That's kind of crazy.
people, myself included, didn't recognize the how elite Dom Reyes was. I don't think
I suppose, yeah.
I don't think anyone realized just how good he was. I think they thought, and again, I'll admit to this, I think they thought he was just an average light heavyweight, like, you know, just kind of average. Just he's solid, he's good, never going to be world champ kind of fighter. But then he went out and, in my opinion, beat John Jones. So he's obviously extremely elite. And, hindsight's 2020. So, but yeah, I mean, Chris, uh, I mean, it's tough for him. After the fight, he was saying like, "Hey, light or middleweights, I'm back. I'm putting the whole middleweight division on notice." And I was like, "Jesus Christ, man, what are you talking?" Like, most of these guys at middleweight will annihilate him. I mean, he got matched up with a guy who is not very good. I mean, to be honest, he looked bad last night. Omari Akhemedov looked bad, and but that's not the matchups you're gonna get throughout middleweight. Like that was a rarity that you found yourself in. That was a rare competition. Um, but then I saw an interview with him and Megan O'Leary a little while later in the evening. It was sad, to be honest. He was basically saying, how uh, uh, unhappy he was with his performance, how he didn't feel very good, he didn't feel 100%, and he realizes that he has a ton of improvements to make. I feel for the dude, I really do. He seems unhappy with himself, at least in some of these interviews, and it's tough to see. Uh, it I I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with Chris Weidman. I just kind of feel bad for him. I feel
Yeah.
like he doesn't even know what to do.
I got a fun fight for him. Okay, so
Paulo Costa.
his fight, oh, the American Patriot versus the other American Patriot. What is the
Two
All
All
American Weidman?
Americans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I just want to say that I love Paulo Costa and his American persona that he has going on. It's absolutely hilarious.
What was
It's
it? He
he's
talked
just
shit to Israel because Israel made like a 9/11 joke
yeah,
or
and then he,
something.
he kept he kept doing shit like that doesn't pertain to him but pertains to America, and it's the funniest shit.
He's
I
a
gotta watch like
patriot,
a
man. He's a true
compilation.
patriot.
Dude,
Like
he does. He posts the funniest memes, dude, as well. Did you see the one he posted with Israel Asanya's face swap on like dancing women or something like that with Paulo like wooing them?
no,
It was real sexually tense,
I don't
bro. It was
follow him
weird.
on Instagram.
It's like he posted like porn of him and Izzy, like softcore porn. It's weird, dude. But it's so funny. But okay, so back to Chris Weidman. If you look at Omari Akhemedov, who he just fought and he just beat, number 11. So he's got to fight someone arguably higher than number 11, right? Number 10 and onward. But if you look at the rankings, you got Robert Whitaker, Paulo Costa, Jared Cannonier, Jack Hermanson, Yoel Romero, Darren Till, Derek Brunson, Kelvin Gastelum, Uriah Hall. That's 1 to 9 right there. I don't see Chris ever beating them ever in this state that he's in right now. Not saying
None
he
of them.
couldn't, but I wouldn't give him a fight. But who stands at number 10, Kyle? Edmund Shabazian, a guy coming off a loss, higher ranked than Chris Weidman.
Oh,
Put him in
dude.
there with Edmund. Let's
No.
see what happens.
No.
It's the fight to make. They both just
No.
fought too.
Dude, Edmund would destroy him. I'm
Well,
sorry.
let's think about it. If Chris gets his cardio back up and he takes Edmund out of the first round, I mean, that's Chris's fight right there.
No.
Nah. I still think that that's the fight to make. If Chris really wants to come
No.
back, prove himself, say this is the deciding factor, let's do it.
No, no one in the top 10. No one.
Well, who's he gonna
Not
fight?
dude, I don't know. Like I'm telling you, I
That's a
don't know. Like it's bad. Like he's in a bad spot. Like
yeah.
even though he got that win last night, I
Do
mean,
you
thank
think he's
God he
gonna
got
get?
that win.
Do you think he's gonna get put in the rankings? I
D-
mean, logically, he has to, right?
I,
It's,
I
it's awkward,
guess.
isn't it?
Who are the other? Who's the top 15? Like who comes after?
Antonio Carlos Jr. is 15. Then comes Marvin Vittori. Then Ian Heinisch. Then Brad Tavares. And then Omari Akhemedov is number 11.
I I don't know a single one of those guys he could beat. I
Chris, my boy, you are still my boy, but this is tough for you, my man.
I I mean, like I said, thank God he got the win last night, but he didn't look good.
I still want to see
He
the
didn't
Edmund
look good at
Shahbazyan
all.
fight just to seal his fate.
Edmund will take him out hard, dude.
I think
Why
you
you want that
underestimate
back?
Chris's wrestling, though. If he can duck the punches and just hold him down like Kamaru Usman does with his opponent, I think he would win.
Did you
Chris has
see
got
terrific wrestling from Chris last night?
well, no, but the guy was also from Dagestan.
I saw decent wrestling against an opponent who was the lactic acid was
All
up
right,
to
yeah,
his
you're
forehead.
you're kind of convincing me here that Chris has no place in the middleweight rankings.
Dude,
Oh
I
man,
feel for him, man. Like it
he's in a tough
sucks. I
spot,
just
man.
don't know if he could beat any of these guys. I mean,
I mean, you saw his striking. Oh my god, slow motion. Any other guy would have capitalized on that and just beat him to death.
I don't know. Maybe he could fight Brad Tavares, but I don't like his chances.
Ian
In
Heinisch.
any
I mean, Omari Akhemedov just beat Ian Heinisch. So how do you give Chris the guy whose opponent that he just beat? You know what I mean? This is a complicated
The
matter.
dude was on a. I mean, I get that he won last night. He didn't win in any kind of dominant fashion,
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
you. And
yeah.
he's still coming off like what, a 5-fight losing streak, 6-fight losing, something
I think it was
astronomical like that.
17 fights in a row. Something
He
like
hasn't won in 3 years prior to
Right.
last night. I mean, it, don't shoot him up the ladder like he did something incredible. I
that.
mean,
What if they give him someone like absolutely out of his league, like they sometimes do with these fights?
well
What do you think
then we're gonna see something real ugly, and then we're gonna have the BJ Penn
They
conversation.
gave him a fucking Yoel rematch. Oh my
Oh
god,
my
dude.
God.
I could
Well,
see them doing that.
granted, Yoel has also looked awful, and I mean he looked terrible during the Israel, but I don't think that was lack of ability. I think that was lack of just like game plan and
Yeah,
initiation.
Izzy's fucking
just
complicated.
he just wasn't initiating in the fight. I feel like if he did, he's more than capable. Whereas Weidman, I mean, it's the ability that's lacking. The ability has degraded significantly. Yoel, it's just like bad decision making. You know, the ability and the skill set is still there. He's still very much in shape. He's still got the pop that he's always had. He's just bad decision making in that Israel fight and couldn't really figure out his opponent and didn't want to go first and a whole slew of issues. But with Chris, it boils down to the guy's just not as good as he once was. And like I said, there's nothing. That's not like I'm not trying to sit here and like roast the guy like it's something to be terribly ashamed. This dude beat Anderson Silva, like he's one of the goats at middleweight.
Twice.
He has all the accolades that you need. It's just not that time anymore. You know, your time has passed. You know, like Dutch Vanderland said at the end of Red Dead 1, our time has passed, John. Time has passed.
Is that when he yeeted himself off the mountain?
Spoiler alert, dude.
Shit.
Jesus, that game
Jesus
came out in
Christ.
like 2012.
I'm sorry, guys. I know you haven't gotten around to playing it yet, and you will someday.
But yeah, he did say that. He went, our time has passed, John. And then he threw himself off the cliff, and then John was like, where's my family?
He's yelling down at the corpse.
No, he said it to
you
Edgar
can hear
Ross.
me.
He said it to Edgar Ross, and then Edgar Ross put a bullet in Dutch Vanderland with John's gun and said, looks better on the paperwork that way. I don't know how, but it does, I
That's a pretty
guess.
fucking cool line.
As if they
I like
did
that.
paperwork in 1912. Like a notorious criminal killed himself, and you're gonna worry about the paper? Like what?
I
It's
mean, Yoel
1912,
Romero was
bro.
around back then. We should ask him how
That's
they did
true.
things.
Yoel was actually featured in Red Dead 1, but Rockstar had to cut it last minute due to just time
I
constraints.
think he
But
took too much up of the screen, right? Whenever he was on the screen, he was just too wide and too big.
yeah.
No one else could. Yeah, okay.
Well, there was that whole Bigfoot quest line. It was supposed to be so you find Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot goes, my leader is here, and then you go up into tall trees, and that's where you find Yoel hiding in a
I
cave, and
love you.
he brutally murders John Marston. That was the original ending, but like I said, time constraints, so they kind
He
of had to
throws
write
like
him.
infinite flying knees, just one after
Yeah,
the other.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean
shame. That would
that
have been a
was
good. That would have been a good ending.
that was originally how John was set to die, but the time constraints didn't allow for it, so Rockstar had to write around it, and they had the whole farm killing thing that we have come to
Yeah, that game was
know.
terrible. So it doesn't really. We shouldn't
Yeah,
even talk
terrible
about
game.
that.
Both Red Dead games,
Awful.
garbage.
The
Never play
writing.
them.
God,
Don't
it
play
was
them.
written by like Junie B. Jones or something. I don't know. It was
Listen,
fucked.
I may have cried at the ending of both games, but
I
that's just
cried at the
because
ending
I'm
of
a
the Chris fight like a real man.
dude. I still like I played through Red Dead 2 like 3 times already. I still get choked up at it. Like it's still. I remember when Arthur has like his last ride. I remember playing that for the first time and having a literal anxiety attack. I remember my heart was just pounding and my stomach was churning and my eyes were tearing up. I couldn't
You
handle it.
kind of knew, right?
Oh, dude, you that's the thing. That's what makes it so great is that it's like a really slow burn
Mm-hmm.
and you know what's going to happen for a while and it's just like grueling and you're witnessing the suffering and it's a rough
Are you talking
Red
about the
Dead
Chris
2.
Weidman fight, or are you talking about Red Dead? The
No,
cruel grind and suffering.
this is Red Dead
Oh
podcast
man,
now. We're not talking about MMA anymore.
it kind
This
of
is
sounds like you're describing Weidman's career lately, doesn't it? A slow, sad burn. You know what's gonna happen. That's just like, oh, that's perfect.
I guess. So, yeah, Chris Weidman in the UFC is akin to an outlaw who contracts tuberculosis
I'm not
and
saying
is
the
on the run
paths
from
of
the law.
failure. I mean, he probably is. He's a fucking bank robber. Look at him.
Who's a failure?
What?
You said someone's a failure? What?
No, no. I don't know what the fuck I said. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Back to Red Dead
I am
podcast.
accusing Chris Weidman's.
Queuing.
I am portraying Chris Weidman's slow and burning away career to Arthur Morgan's tuberculosis, and I don't know if that's correct, but it kind of reminds me of Chris Weidman. When I'm playing that last mission, that's all I can think about is the All American. All I hear in the background is "That's still my boy." You know, it goes so well.
I saw something. I saw a tweet from Ariel Helwani that was like, "Here we go. Cue up the Tom Petty music. We're about to see the Chris Weidman walkout." And then they took a commercial break and came back, and he was already in the octagon.
Oh man,
I was like, we
god
didn't even
damn
get
it.
to see the walkout.
Fuck.
They actually,
Weidman spawned some good memes though, so I hope he sticks around for a while.
yeah, I
Probably not the
guess.
best for him, but
I guess.
I love you.
Yeah.
Aside
Still my
from
boy.
Red Dead and Chris Weidman, there was one other fight on the main card that I really enjoyed, and that's Beneil Dariush fighting Scott Holtzman.
Good
And
fight.
wow, dude, Beneil Dariush, whoa, this dude's a Terminator. He just assaults his opponents until they eye poke him 3 times in a row. That's the only way to defeat him, I
Dude,
guess.
don't sleep on Beneil. People have been sleeping on Beneil for too long. What did I tell you? What did I tell you prior to this fight? Didn't I tell you I was excited to see Beneil?
Oh, hell yeah. You're welcome.
Sorry, Beneil just...
Beneil, you came in your window. Started throwing sand at you. That's Tony Ferguson.
Is that racist? He's from Iran.
Oh, I
No,
didn't know that.
he's actually not from Iran. I think he's from
Israel?
America, but he has no. Israel Adesanya?
No, is he from
The-
Israel?
No, I think he's
Oh.
from America, but he has like Iranian
Ah,
blood.
I didn't know that. No, I was
Uh,
talking about Tony Ferguson's game plan against Justin Gaethje.
yeah, sure you were, you bigot. Um,
What? Anyway,
Beneil's on what, like a 5-fight win streak
yeah,
now?
5 fights, most of them knockouts, if I'm correct.
Yeah, not all finishes.
God, that last night, that knockout though. I mean, even before he threw that spinning elbow, or was it a back fist or an elbow? I don't even remember. I think it was an elbow that
It
hit.
was it was like a forearm.
Okay, a
It
forearm.
was it was like a spinning back fist, but it caught him on the forearm.
Yeah,
Forearm right to the jaw.
and even before that, he was completely battering Scott Holtzman, and I mean battering him. It was intense. After that third eye poke, Beneil just turned it up to 11, and he just started washing through him. It was so impressive. And Scott is a tough guy. He was trying so hard, but the Dariush, man, you can't stop that wave when it comes at you. And that spinning back fist to walk off knockout, that was just such a beautiful way to finish it, like a nice garnish on a fettuccine alfredo. It just worked. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, he looked real good, man. I am super impressed with him every time he comes out. The dude's been showing so much improvement. Now he did miss weight, which
Yeah.
sucks, but he acknowledged it and was like, apologizing and saying, how bad he felt about it, and even said, "Hey, Dana, if you think that was a performance of the night worthy thing, because the dude's been getting performance of the night bonuses out the ass for like his last 4 fights. If you think that was a performance of the night worthy bonus, give it to Scott Holtzman. Don't give it to me because I missed weight." And I was like, whoa, this dude's he's as classy as they
Yeah.
get. Um, I would love to see them shoot him up the rankings. I think he's ready for like a top 10 guy.
Give him
He's
like
he's
Al
ranked at
Quinta or
number
something. That's a good
He's
buff.
ranked at number 14 right now. What'd you say, Raging Al?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
I would.
tough one, but that'll see if he's really ready for the top guys, you know.
I kind of thought him and Felder were gonna
Oh.
set. I mean, they're both like really nice guys, so I knew they weren't gonna But
Right.
I thought maybe he would say something like, "Hey, Paul, it'd be an honor to fight you" or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I like that fight as well. Um, there's a lot of interesting matchups for him. Islam Makhachev sitting at number 11 right now. That would be an interesting stylistic matchup because
Gregor
Islam is
Gillespie on his vacation. Has he come back yet, or is he still off since the
since
Kevin Lee
the
fight?
Kevin Lee knockout.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
haven't seen him
I
since the
don't think
Kevin Lee
he's.
knockout.
Yeah, I think they killed him. Um, no, I don't know what the deal is with
I mean
Gregor
that
right
was
now.
that was a pretty bad knockout. He was on the ground for quite a while.
Real bad
He was
knockout.
out. Yeah, he was out. That was bad. Let's give him some
Yeah,
time off. Let's not make fun of him, Kyle. Come on. How dare you?
I still think he's one of the best lightweights in the world, and I can't wait to see what's next for Gregor Gillespie. Um,
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee, what, a rematch?
No, Beneil Dariush.
Oh, Beneil Dariush, yeah.
That's good too.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I don't hate it.
Kevin Lee's a fun guy. You know, I
Sure.
love to watch him fight. As much as people hate him, I love to watch him fight.
Yeah,
I know
no,
he
he is
murdered your
fun though.
boy, but you gotta accept that, Kyle. All right, you gotta get
No,
past it.
hey, I give him credit. He is a fun guy to watch. He's very skilled. He is a future title contender, if you ask me. I just don't really like him, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, hang on, Kevin Lee's outside my house right now. He's coming to kill me.
He's coming to give you a staph infection.
Speaking of lightweights, that's a good segue into Bellator, don't you think?
Bellator 243.
Dude, that's a lot of events.
Benson Henderson. Michael Chandler 2. The rematch. Like 3 years later. Wow.
It was a war the first time. This time, not so much.
I told you, Kyle, and I'll tell these fine people here. I watch Michael Chandler's workout videos every day. He blasts them on Instagram every single day, and I get to see his skill set. And I haven't watched him fight in a while, and every time I watch one of those training videos, I got more and more hype to see this man come out and put it to the show. You know, I want to see what this training is doing for him as a fighter. And my God, you see it pay off when he fought Benson for a second time. I thought Benson looked great, obviously he looks great as well, but Michael Chandler just has this aura about him, and he's not even a striker as a main tool. He's more of a wrestler, and he just uses his striking to just completely dismantle people, and he doesn't even need to fall back on what he based his foundation on. It's interesting to see this guy just completely switch from wrestler to striker and be so successful. But I guess maybe it's the threat of the wrestling that makes his striking so effective. I don't know, but in all, in conclusion, it's just such a fun guy. If Michael Chandler is there, it's a fun fight, and I love it.
It was nice to see a Bellator main event where you look at both guys and you're like, whoa, these dudes are elite. Like this is quality. It was cool
Yeah,
to see quality from Bellator. Um, yeah, that's about as elite as Bellator gets, to be honest. Now Michael Chandler is not gonna be with Bellator anymore. He says he's testing out free agency after this fight. So like,
UFC maybe.
I guess I mean I think it'd be a nice pickup
Yeah,
for the UFC. The thing is, he goes into a much steeper lightweight division. I mean, I would argue
much
the
steeper.
steepest division in the sport of mixed martial arts. There is no division in MMA that is more dangerous than the UFC's 155 division. That's as scary as it gets. Um, so yeah, I mean, throw him in there. I would love to see how he matches up with these UFC guys because I do think both of them. Benson a little longer in the tooth, been around for a bit now, but both of them are UFC caliber. I mean, Benson obviously already was, but uh, yeah, this I didn't when I watched that fight, even though it was brief. I didn't watch that and think like, oh, this is it's a main event, but it's a Bellator main event, so
Yeah,
it leaves a little bit to be desired. I didn't think that. I was like, okay, I'm watching two really quality lightweights battle it out right now, and I thought Michael Chandler put on a very impressive performance for as brief as it was. Uh, I'd love to see him in the UFC. I think that'd be a great acquisition for them. Just, I mean, just to buff that lightweight division even more. Not that they need it necessarily, but uh, it's always fun bringing over like crossover stars, uh, and vice versa too. I mean, it's fun to see people that were in the UFC over in Bellator. That tends to happen quite frequently. And it's fun to see people from other organizations and then see them in the top tier organizations, see if they really are as elite as we thought they were. I think with Michael Chandler, I think that will be the case. Honestly, I think he will stack up very well with these lightweights. Now, is he going to go in there and starch a top 10 guy? I don't really know about that yet, but it will be interesting to see him, because I'm saying it will be interesting because I'm kind of convinced it's going to happen, to be honest. I don't think there's a whole lot of ifs here. I think he will go over there. It would just be interesting to see, will it be like a Ben Askren situation
yeah.
where
You
this
never
guy
know.
has just put on some great work in his previous organization, but then he comes over and it turns out the competition here in the UFC is just too stiff, too high, too elite. Um, I don't know. We'll have to see. It's hard to tell right now because you could argue that Michael Chandler took out a guy that's out of his prime, but I would still argue that Benson Henderson is still very much an elite lightweight and also would stack up well with these UFC lightweights today. The dude always comes in like terrific shape. I mean, Benson's legs are like the size of my head. The dude comes in ripped every time. So is Chandler. Now there's some I heard some people saying he may have some USADA troubles if he comes over.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
I don't know anything about that. I'm not making any kind of accusations or oh, excuse me, or any kind of predictions. I'm just saying that's something a lot of people have been saying is, oh, you gotta watch out for USADA. You go over to the UFC, Michael Chandler. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's going to be exciting nonetheless. I
Yeah,
really hope he
it's
goes in that
probably
direction.
going to be something we don't see for a little bit. Speaking of people crossing over, we just saw Corey Anderson go over to Bellator.
I didn't
So,
see that coming.
yeah, I was a little surprised by that. That's a guy that, he has struggled a bit with some of the elite light heavyweight. He himself is I would say an elite light heavyweight in the UFC, but, has some ebbs and flows to his career in terms of reaching that top tier light heavyweight position. Over in Bellator, I think he's going to dominate. I think it's a good fit for him. I
He's
think
a
he'll do
really
very
nice guy too. I like him a lot. I think
yeah.
did he just beat Johnny Walker?
He
Um,
beat Johnny Walker and then he
and then
lost
he
to
lost. Who did he? I'm trying to
Jan.
think.
Was it Jan Blachowicz?
I think it might have been, yeah.
I think it was
And
Jan
then Jan
Blachowicz.
fought. That was before or after the Chris fight. I don't know. But I know the
Let
UFC
me
wanted to
look.
get rid of him real fast after taking out their prime star, Johnny Walker. They just removed him from the organization after that one.
Yeah, he
No,
got
but
knocked out by Jan in the
okay,
first
okay.
round.
But I do think he would be a very good competitor for Bellator. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a strong wrestler, strong striker. He's got a good skill set to him, and those Bellator people, a lot of them don't. Let's just be honest here. Bellator's a great organization, but their fighters are not close to the UFC, and that's just a reality that some people aren't ready to face. And they're gonna face it when they see Corey Anderson walking towards them. Who knows, man? Maybe
Yeah.
Corey Anderson gets flatlined straight out of his Bellator career. I don't know. I just think that he's gonna do much better over there. Definitely, I would agree.
Speaking of people that have really well-rounded skill sets, I want to go back to the UFC for a second. Somebody that I thought really stood out last night on the prelim card was Kevin Holland. We've watched Kevin Holland evolve a lot since the Contender Series. I think he's a very fun addition to. He's a middleweight, correct? Kevin Holland.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a middleweight. Very fun addition to that division. I I like him a lot. He he talks a ton of trash, but he does tend to back it up. And oh, here's some irony for you. Back in 2019, he fought Brendan Allen, lost to Brendan Allen via submission on UFC on ESPN 6, Reyes versus Weidman. Wow, look at that.
Wow, it all comes back.
Yeah.
Time is a flat circle. Wow.
Okay, Rust Cole.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, Kevin Holland. I don't have too much to say other than he's fun. He's very skilled. He's got a good personality. He puts on entertaining fights. That's about it. I mean, I'm going to be interested to see where he goes in middleweight. I think he's a great addition. Uh, Dana White calls him Big Mouth. He's fun,
Yeah.
man. He's very fun. I always like when these guys are able to, really come out and showcase how much they have to offer. Not just in terms of their fighting ability, but in terms of their personality. He's a irritating little shithead, but he's fun. Like he knows he's irritating. He tries to be irritating. He's a bit of a troll, somewhat like Darren Till. Uh, so yeah, Kevin Holland, keep an eye on him. He's going to be making moves in middleweight, I feel.
Now, I want to take this time to mention someone very dear to my heart.
Oh boy.
Okay. A fighter that has proved time and time again to have elite level striking, elite level grappling, elite level Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. This man can do it all. He would beat most UFC heavyweights, and he's already beating most Bellator heavyweights. My man, Matt Mitrione. Let me tell you about him. This guy comes out on the co-main event of Bellator 243, absolutely starches his opponent in 30 seconds flat, easily. Oh my God. I've never seen such a dominant performance in my life. Now,
This is called fake
this is
news,
called fake
kids.
news. I lied to you. He fought Timothy Johnson, a homeless man they got on the street, and he got decimated. Nah, Timothy Johnson, he didn't do too well against him. Let's just be honest here. Okay, Matt Mitrione, a little bit out of your prime. He looked good physically, but when it came down to cage time, what happened, my man? What happened? We got to get him on the podcast and hear his side of the story here because he's becoming a
He's
meme
never
of
gonna
the
come on
Bellator
this
subreddit.
podcast.
Matt, we'll get Timothy Johnson on. He'll tell us the juicy
He'll
details.
never come on either.
God damn it, Kyle! You're ruining our chances here, brother. What'd you think of that co-main though? That was a little rough.
You know, it was
Bellator.
it was a very Bellator fight. I don't know.
There's not
I don't
much to
have
say about it.
No,
It didn't really last long. I mean, it's kind of bleh, you know.
Yeah,
It was very much like the co-main in the UFC event yesterday. You know, the two cards paralleled each other in that regard.
I just yawned. Did you hear me?
No, I was a stealth yawn.
I
You
just
were holding the blend in button in the Ezio collection.
Yeah,
Whatever that is. But yeah, I just man, Matt Mitrione. I used to love him back when I first started watching the UFC. He was one of my favorites. But he fell off pretty hard. Let's just get that out of the way. But I just wanted to mention him and give him the respect he deserves. Yeah, he beat Fedor, but when was that, Kyle? When Fedor
like
became
30,
like a wet blanket?
30 years ago?
Oh, it was 30 years ago.
No, it was. I mean, it
I
was
thought
in
it was
Bellator.
very recently.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
it
this
was,
is a Fedor
it was
that
somewhat
isn't
recently.
really Fedor. This is like
No,
a shell
it's-
of Fedor. I mean,
It's
he's still.
not Pride Fedor
No,
by any
no.
means.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to mention my my good friend Matt Mitrione. We hang out every Thursday.
That's cool.
Have some Miller Lights. You know, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Kyle, is it time to become a UAE Warrior?
Oh, dude, it's time.
Recording.
All right, awesome.
Let's see
Oh,
how
wait.
this goes.
Agents and fighters, please click here to apply. That's me. I'm a fighter. Oh, you hear the laptop spinning up? My Mac can't take this.
Kyle Thomas Carosi, very nice. Fred, oh my God, we got all the lore.
We'll put this phone number bit in last, and we'll cut that.
Put it in now. Okay, so nickname. This is a big one. This is your
super
brand,
important.
Kyle.
I was thinking Carnage.
Kyle Carnage Carosi. That's not bad. How about Cabbage?
Okay. Okay, that's
Kyle
fair.
Cabbage Carosi. All right.
All right,
email.
we'll put that in that last. My email, whatever. I don't give a shit that my email goes on YouTube. I don't care. It's just my name at gmail.com.
Professional record.
Undefeated.
Why don't you put how many wins you have?
Huh?
What's your record?
Undefeated.
All right. Height in centimeters, 600.
Oh, I put 56. Wait, how do I put 5? Oh, in centimeters. Hang on, I gotta convert this. I don't know. How many centimeters is 5'6"? Feet
Oh,
to
boy.
centimeter. I can't do math.
I don't know.
brother.
I'm a filthy American. I wasn't taught metrics.
All right, 5 feet is 152.4 centimeters. I'm not 5 feet, but screw it. I'm 5 feet now.
You're 152.
154 centimeters. Super heavy. Nationality, all. Country of residence, UAE.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Date of birth, month, April 26th, 1912. Languages spoken, all. Team gym, all. Martial art rank, all. Titles, UFC super heavyweight champion of 2020.
Beautiful.
Tell us your story. Topology? What is that? Oh, that's like tapology. I don't know what that is. Let's put the Caffeinated Combat YouTube channel as the YouTube link.
Sounds good to me.
Hang on, I just gotta get it. Caffeinated Combat. Here we are. This is our channel. Follow us on YouTube. Upload a photo. Shit. I have that one photo that I want to use, but like I don't know if it's on my laptop. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Take
And
your time.
I will send it to myself. Any other comments? I am a man with no name.
That's his name at the top.
I've walked the darkest
The Mojave.
alleys and fought the elitist fights.
Kyle, I'm not gonna lie, I can't find the photo.
You suck,
I
man.
thought you just.
Yeah,
I like that.
I beat Khabib and Stiopic in one night.
At the same time.
Hire me, Dana.
Another
Okay.
action photo.
Let me save this photo to my...
Who did you send that photo to? It must have been Snapchat, because I don't have it's none of my our photo thing that we have on iMessage.
It's here. I'm looking at it.
On
It
our
says
messages.
delivered. Yeah, unless I sent it to someone else. I don't know. It's definitely there.
Okay. What are you doing with this one, Kyle?
Huh?
Are you uploading that one as the? Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And then fights or training, life of a fighter. The life of a
What?
fighter has invalid PDF.
Oh,
What?
photo.
Oh,
Action videos down there. Yeah.
wait. Where's action video? Oh, they don't have action vid. Is that?
They did have one. I remember seeing one.
I don't know if they did.
Shit.
Wait, let's see. Maybe I could put it here on the other. We can't even use it. We can't even use it.
Oh,
Holy
man.
shit. I made this for nothing.
No, dude, you made it for us,
I made it for our
the fans.
fans that we don't have. Well, whatever. I'm just gonna submit this. Oh wait, I need to put in my phone number, right? That's
Put
like,
in
required.
yeah. Do you have to upload stuff? Is that not required? Doesn't seem like
No.
it's required.
I mean, I already uploaded the Jack Nicholson photo. If that's not good enough for them, then I don't know what will be.
I love it.
All right. Please remember to blur this part,
Yeah, I'll think about it.
or like just don't, you know. I almost read it out loud like an idiot. All right.
All right, we're looking good.
Get ready. Make sure you include this. Submit.
Please wait.
I can't wait till it doesn't work. I just got an email.
I like
We've
how it says
received
not
your-
secure at the top.
Yeah, that's good. I just received an email.
I heard
Hold.
the buzz.
Hold. It's loading. Everything's loading right now. Kyle Carosi Cabbage. Yep, that's me.
Kyle Guerrero's the cabbage, baby.
We received your response for fighter candidacy. Jot form. Awesome.
Jot form. What is that?
It must be like the service they use to you know. But by the way, nothing is happening on
I see on
here.
your screen. It's just.
Oh! Thank
Yes.
you. Your submission has been received. Well,
Ladies and gentlemen,
there we have it,
a
folks.
UAE Warrior right here. Kyle
There we
Cabbage
have it.
Carosi. Standing at 154 centimeters. How much do you weigh? 265 pounds? Super heavyweight?
Something like that.
This is going to be a fantastic career for you, my man. I love
yeah,
it.
I'm excited. Hopefully we'll hear from them in about 10 minutes or so, telling me to kill myself.
You'll get a lawsuit right in the mail.
Well, that's about all I got.
All right.
Oh, so this will be the point where you see my awesome video.
Oh, of
We'll
course.
We'll include it right here. 3, 2, 1, go.
Blam. Boom.
Okay,
I'll do a little
it.
intro. I'll do a little intro as well.
Undisputed flyweight champion of the world!
Kyle Carosi!
24.5 for the champ!
I'm here to show you what it takes to be a professional martial artist. First thing is diet is important. Let me take you to show you what you can do to get yourself in shape to be a professional mixed martial artist. First thing, alcohol, lots of it. In the morning, that's old. In the afternoon and in the evening. Next thing is Entenmann's, cakes and stuff. This is a spinning back kick.
This is a spinning back kick.
You know, people will often tell you the best cardio is running or swimming, but really, the way to get the most out of your cardio, it's a really simple tool. A plastic bag. That's all you need. You get it at your local grocery store, or a Rite Aid, or a CVS, or a grocery store, or all you gotta do, right before you start working out, just slip that bad boy over your head. It constricts the breathing, and now your lungs will really be able to work harder. I drink lots of caffeine. It's a very organic and natural way to get your heart rate up, so that way you never get tired. I haven't slept in 6 days. So all you gotta do is just get really close and then just... Something we fighters often struggle with is our weight, but really it shouldn't be a big deal. All you do is go next to your toilet and then purge yourself. Now, you might say, what do you do with that hand sanitizer? Do you put it on your hands? No, that's fucking stupid. What you do is put it in your mouth like that. When I became UFC heavyweight champion, I did it by kneeing my opponent in the face multiple times. One of my favorite things to do after a hard day of training. Now that I've cleansed myself of all my impurities, typically how I like to finalize my day is by giving myself some positive affirmations. You don't need a girlfriend to prove you're straight. It's okay if there's blood in your poop sometimes. So, I just heard from my agent, right? And, apparently this video was supposed to show off my skills as a fighter, not necessarily my daily routine. I still think I showed enough. Alright, so I think we should finish this video by doing like a cool little freeze frame. Basically. Oh, okay.
Standing at 154 seconds. Sorry, it'll be great.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. Anything
Dude,
else?
I feel like I'm gonna pass out because I haven't eaten today.
Oh,
My
you gotta
stomach
eat, bro.
is hurting,
You're
and
just really
I
nervous
feel
about being a UAE
awful.
Warrior, aren't you?
No,
Just
like I'm
admit it.
feeling like shaky. Like I think I'm going into like diabetic
Okay,
shock
maybe you
or
should
something.
go eat some food then, my guy.
Yeah,
All
my
right.
sugar feels like it's like depleting as we speak. I think
Yeah.
I'm getting like sweats and.
All right, you gotta
It's
go.
all-
You gotta go eat some kiwis, my guy. This has been Caffeinated Combat. We're standing here with Matt and a UAE Warrior, Kyle Cabbage Karosi.
That's me.
Enjoy, everybody. Thank you for watching, Ren.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.